Hell, I have the wildest question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much? This is like a legitimate question. I'm not even trying to be facetious. How much do you expect a seasoned lady, that's what I'm going to say, because I just don't want to be ageist. I don't want to discriminate against aged. But for a seasoned woman to kiss you on the cheek, how much do you, in the age of COVID, how much do you charge?
Do I charge?
How much do you charge, Hale? This is a legitimate question.
I guess I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, I'm going to set this up. So this weekend, I'm at weddings. Naturally, nothing that the listeners don't know. This has happened to me plenty of times before, but it just hits different in a global pandemic. But at the end of the night, on my last wedding of the weekend, I'm like, I'm shutting down, do my thing. Mm-hmm. And one of the, I want to say was the brides, had to be like a great aunt, grandmother of a sort. She looked maybe 60 plus. She just comes up to me. She slides money. And I'll tell you how much in a second. She slides money right in my hand. And it was real sly. It was like she really went to like you could have put on the table. She just kind of like, she leans in. She goes, on my cheek. She goes, you did a great job tonight. I just want to say that. Now, can you guess how much the money was?
$60 plus. I usually got money. I'm gonna go 50.
All right.
She handed you a 50.
All right. Is that how much you would charge?
Well, I'm not charging anything for that. I just hope that doesn't happen.
Okay, so you don't want it to happen to you.
I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
No. And if it did, it's gonna have to be 100.
Well, she gave me 90 less than that, and I didn't count it until she left. So yeah, she gave me $10. And at the end of it, I was like, and she did it, and I was like, huh. And I look at it in my hand. I said, if I get COVID, this is not worth it.
She thought this was like some carnival thing where you paid at the kissing booth.
I don't know, but like you'd be surprised at how comfortable people like really, because like majority of the night I am behind my booth. I might be waving at you. I'm engaging, but by the end of the night, they really think I'm family. And I pride myself, and that's like the shtick, right? Like, yeah, a part of the package. I'm a part of your family for the day, right? I sell it as that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Auntie knew I was a part of the family for a day, but she sure as hell thought I was by the end of the dance floor. And so I was just curious. I was like, how much do you charge, Hale? You know what I'm saying? You're a strapping gentleman. The ladies like you. You know what I'm saying? You work events and weddings too. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's might be different from the videographer standpoint. I don't know if you invite the sexual assault minorly.
Nothing like that's ever happened.
Nothing like that's ever happened. That was pretty much my weekend in a nutshell. I'll even get into more of the weekend in our new segment, Pick Six, awesome. When we talk about one of your picks, because I have a cool little connection there. But family and friends, welcome to the best podcast in the whole wide world. This is the Unfiltered Gems podcast. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I am Ryan Hale. We are excited to be back.
Baby!
Back and what they say? We back and we better?
Back and we better. So, Hale, how was your weekend, King? Talk about it. Tell me something good.
Good, man. It was a really good weekend. Like you mentioned, gonna talk about some of the things in the Pick Six, but it was fun, man.
Yeah.
Just got to hang out, relax, chill with the family.
100%.
It's always nice. So yeah, it was a cool, chill weekend. I actually went to the Suns game. Got some free tickets last minute to the Suns game.
Nice.
Man, some of the best seats I've ever had at the Suns game. Actually.
No, I saw your vantage point on IG.
Dope.
I was like, okay,
yeah,
okay, courtside.
Yeah.
He got money. He got money.
I actually saw Colin Kaepernick at the game too.
Ooh.
Literally, we get to our seats and Colin Kaepernick.
We need to talk about the show. Have you watched the show yet on Netflix?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either, but I've been hearing all the rumblings and grumblings about it, and it's like,
I'm gonna check it out.
I think maybe for next week we'll get into Kaepernick's show, because it's a huge talking point for a lot of people. I did not know. I thought he was like mixed. I mean, he is mixed, but I thought
he is mixed.
I thought one parent was black, one parent was white, which biologically there are, but he was adopted by a white family.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. I could only imagine. That's some get out shit. That's when I'd be
You stupid. Oh man,
I was looking like that. That's like imagine. Golly. But I mean, but you hope like they Sandra Bullock Blindside.
You hope it was a good.
You hope it was like, hey, we need to make sure we surround you with your culture and not like you're one of us now. Don't worry about your skin tone. You're one of us. Stupid. Here in Bossing say we don't see color. That was a nerdy joke. Avatar people. Okay. Look, I want to get right on down to the stories. I want to spare no expense. I'm hyped today, and it's happy hour for me. So cheers to you, and cheers to all the listeners. Welcome to Unfiltered Gems, y'all. Hail. Can we get the pod started?
Let's do it.
Unfiltered Gems podcast. Thank you so much to everybody that is rocking with us. Of course, follow, subscribe, do all those things everywhere. You already know what's at Unfiltered Gems podcast. And make sure that you're subscribed on the YouTube so you can see our beautiful faces because we here. You know what I'm saying? Hale over here. He finally got the nose job. He looking good, man. Like, so y'all really got to see.
Huh. Interesting.
You know, honestly, it's because we can see each other. Sometimes I just really want to say some wild shit just because, like, it's the face that's priceless for me. Guys, we got to get down to probably one of the biggest stories in the culture right now. You know, in this podcast, like me at least, and I know Ryan probably the same, like we always want to bring a lot of light to stuff. And I know the past few pods, we've had some heavy stories that we've been covering. I promise after the first story that we talk about, it is going to get real light. It's going to get real fun for the rest of the day. But there's really no way to talk about this in as light of a way as we normally do. By now, a lot of you have already heard what happened over the weekend at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival after his Grammy-nominated album, Astroworld. And the festival welcomed it only happened on 2 days because it was supposed to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it happened Friday, Saturday.
No, they canceled Saturdays.
They canceled Saturday, so it happened. So it was Friday. So pardon me. Welcomed about 50,000 plus people to one of Houston's larger venues, at which during Travis Scott's headlining performance, in a crowd surge, 8 people are now dead. There's a number of people injured as well. It will take some time. Authorities are saying to figure out the cause of death for each person that has died. Ages range start from up to 10, average up until about 30. I am someone who, quite frankly, I've never missed a Travis Scott tour, probably except this one. I was at the Astroworld tour. I was at the Birds Sing Brian McKnight tour. Y'all were at that one because that was technically the one we saw day and night. I've seen the rodeo tour. I've seen the Days Before Rodeo tour. I even saw the Owl Pharaoh tour. Owl Pharaoh was one of his first mixtapes before Days Before Rodeo. And I saw it at a venue that was in Scottsdale, Arizona that's not even there anymore. Yeah. When I tell you that I have been rocking with Travis Scott from the jump, I'm not lying. So to see this story, heartbreaking doesn't even begin to describe it. Yeah. I want to first send prayers, condolences, healing energy to everybody that is involved, from the people that have passed away, to the families, to the friends, and to the people. I think what I'm most concerned about right now is, what did the people see? Because if you go on Twitter and you look at the Twitter threads and the firsthand accounts of people that are there, not even the worst horror movie could describe this. Hale, there's a line of questioning I got for you, for the listeners as well. We want to know your thoughts at Unfiltered Gems podcast. We want to know your thoughts on Astroworld and what happened. Hale, I want to know your thoughts about this story.
Man, I mean, not a lot to add outside of, like you said, how sad it is, man. Very heartbreaking. So many thoughts, bro. It's like, just hearing, like you said, some of the accounts, the firsthand accounts, and reading stuff on Twitter and Instagram and different things like that. I didn't have the heart to watch any of the videos. I just couldn't do that. That was just too much. But just reading some of the stuff, firsthand accounts of people who were there, it's just devastating, bro. Like, I can't imagine. And like you mentioned, we were at a couple Travis Scott shows together. Yeah. The first one I went to was, I believe it was the rodeo tour out here. I think it was the Marquee Theater out in Tempe, Arizona. Yep.
And the only reason I'm laughing, fam, is because, seeing Hale.
I didn't know what I was getting into.
He didn't know. And it's the same time when I see girls at Travis Scott shows, like little teenage girls with heels on, and I'm like, oh, honey, this is your first rodeo, ain't it? You just don't know what's about to happen. And literally. And for those that know Travis Scott, for those that don't know, he calls his fans the Ragers at his shows. He encourages belligerent behavior.
Literally. And when I the first show that I went to, the rodeo one that we're talking about, literally before the show even started, everybody starts raging. Like I remember everybody grabbing onto each other and rocking back and forth, kind of like in a swag
Yeah.
surf, or not even in a
Because
swag surf type of thing, but
well,
it
no,
was
it
just
was literally because there's so many people in there. Like you can't,
yeah,
you really can't bring your
you really
hands
could.
up. You can't, yeah.
It was
And that's not for everybody. Quite frankly, it's not for me either. Like I think that there's a way that you can actually have because I'm somebody who at here I'll say my age, everything. At 28 years old, a nigga still loves a mosh pit. Can't lie to you. Like I have moshed at Travis shows, at rock shows, at like
definitely.
I enjoy it, right? And it was wild because there was someone who put up like some old Warp Tour footage from the 90s, and they were saying if you don't think that there's actually etiquette to raging or to mosh pitting, you're sorely mistaken. Because what you saw was one, the artist has impeccable crowd control. So a mosh pit does not mean that everybody around that area is going to get pushed. A mosh pit does not mean that people are going to be shoved to the ground, are going to be suffocated. The beautiful part about a mosh pit is actually it's probably one of the dopest experiences of just kind of like freeing your body and letting the music kind of just do its thing. And being able because it's like you see some mosh pits where people are just dicks and they're like punching each other. That's not all it is like literally on some third grade shit. You're just kind of shoving each other. We're bouncing. We're going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the beautiful part about it is how people communicate and we say, all right, cool. We're going to spread out. We're going to spread out. We're going to spread out. And the people around him, like, if you don't want to be in the pit, cool. Don't be in the pit. But, the song comes and it drops. Boom. And everyone rushes in and we're jumping together. It is, for me, subjectively, no one else has to agree here, right? It is. It's very liberating. It's very fun. It's
For
a
me,
freeing experience
for me, I was filled with fear
Yeah.
at that first show. I was filled
I
with
looked at
fear
Hale's
that I
face and I've never seen somewhat literally. I look at Hale and me and White, me and James, bro, we look
yeah.
at each other because like when we see the pit, me and White look at each other and go, "Pew," and we like it was like at the Astroworld tour where when Travis had the fucking roller coaster
Mhm.
going ahead of us, there was a point where we're with a friend of ours and the pit formed, and like two of my friends were like, "Oh, we don't do this." And son, me and White looked at each other, and White was already in the pit. I said, "Oh," and we just run in. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? No one gets bloody. No one gets like we just
Mm-mm.
free ourselves. And it's so much fun.
Well, at that
When you're
show
doing it
that I
right.
was at, I was full of fear, like I said, and was forced to go. Not even forced. I decided to go
Yeah,
to the
you did.
back of the
Yes, you did.
to the back of the
You were not forced back.
venue.
You
Yeah.
you 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 safely walked right on back.
Yep.
After
Back
seeing
there with the
people,
sound man
yeah,
chilling,
100%.
and it
And
was
I know
great.
throughout that show too, and this is not where it's a joke. I would say it's ill preparedness on the on the concert goers part, but it's a
Mhm.
very scary sight to see because what happened with Travis Scott, I think, is a pressure that has been built up over his entire performative career. Because at Travis Scott shows, numerous Travis Scott shows, have I seen where there's a pit, there's a crowd surge, there's things like this, and then halfway through the set, you see a crying kid or a girl or a boy being lifted, and people are just so nice enough that as we're raging, we're just going, and that body gets crowd surfed to the back because they couldn't take it, or because they passed out, or they injured themselves. So it is very scary to reflect on that because you don't want to imagine that that kind of concert going experience would evolve and result in what we saw this past Friday in Houston.
Yep. And it just makes it tough because, like you alluded to earlier, Travis Scott promotes that kind of behavior where it's a violent type of behavior where you want people to trample each other or anything like that.
No.
But he promotes the behavior, like you said, of raging and mosh pits and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So if you are not prepared for that, if you don't know what's to come at that, like I did not, it's better for you to get out of the way or get to somewhere safe
Yeah.
and outside of those confines of the mosh pit or whatnot. The sad part about this is it sounds like they had nowhere to go, those people, because of how many people were there, because of how many people are around them, and there was no exit for them. And then it was hard to breathe from some of the accounts I saw. And then once they fell down, it was, for some people, it was no getting up. So I feel
There
for
were
those
stacks
people.
of people 6 high.
Yeah.
There were
I
so many people, they
the
say. What was that?
No, I was just gonna say I can understand the fear that they
Yeah.
must have been in because I was fearful just at a show not even half that size.
I mean, a fraction of that size, considering the
Yeah.
marquee at the time probably had
Mm-hmm.
1,500, maybe
Maybe.
capacity cap. And like I said, I've seen Travis in small venues. I've seen him in arenas, and like I said, I mean, I've had a ball all the times I've done it. And now I want to know, my question to you is, who is to blame here for this? Who is to blame?
I
And
think
it's not because I want to put blame on
right.
somebody, but because
This could have been
consequence,
avoided.
this could have been avoided. And
Right.
I'm seeing now, after, letting, like, I mean, I haven't seen too much video. I only saw certain video that looked like I could stomach it. I didn't see any video of, like, of kids more than I saw very horrific visuals of, like, Travis continuing to perform on a platform
Mm-hmm.
while people are being resuscitated in front of him, and him just still performing.
Because he couldn't notice or didn't notice or what? What
No,
do you think?
he was staring at it. And then all he would say is, like, give him a little space. And
See,
the
that's
saddest part, and I think the most haunting part, because it's all sad, is the fact that there's kids screaming, "Stop the show. Stop the show." And the fact that Travis nor his team, and by his team, the people, the cameraman, the audio, the sound, the people, security, people that could hear. I mean, security can only do so much because they were the reason this is mismanagement, and I blame a lot of people. Travis has to share blame. He even encouraged people via Twitter, to which he now deleted, saying, "Hey, yo, sneak in if you can, hop some fences if you can, if you don't have a ticket, because it's sold out." Of course, he encourages people, rush, come on, rage, all that, and that's fine. Like, that's objective as far as what that means, because you can rage right where you're at. You don't got to move forward. You don't have to move forward to see it. You can still see it from wherever you're at. But it's the fact that people are saying stop the show, and not one person decided to stop it. Drake
it's
even
sad.
came out to
Mm-hmm.
perform.
Yeah.
And I don't think Travis, or even shout out to Roddy Ricch, who was one of the, he was supposed to perform the next day. He
Mm-hmm.
helped in compensating funeral costs. Travis has come in. That doesn't bring people's lives back.
That's the saddest part.
You
And I
know?
think for me, like you said, definitely Travis Scott shares some of the blame. For me, like I said, I've been to a bunch of concerts, and easily that's the unsafest concert that I've ever been to. That's a concert, Travis Scott
Mm.
concerts. If you're not prepared, or if you're somebody who was just a random somebody like me that was just going to a concert or a festival with friends, it is not a safe concert for you to go to. And I'm not saying that Travis Scott, and this is no knock on Travis Scott. It's not safe, bro. It's not safe. Even at the one at the Marquee, I remember people getting knocked out. I remember
Yeah,
watching people get
and like,
knocked
no,
out.
it's very scary to see bodies of people crying or
It's just
unconscious being carried to the back of a.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just not safe
I
to
am
me.
in. Yeah,
And knowing how the capacity and the size, and then obviously, like you said, Travis Scott and encouraging people to try to get in with no tickets, so it was over capacity.
yeah,
And then hearing stories of how there wasn't enough security, it wasn't enough medics, it wasn't enough people to reach out to for help. It's
yeah.
just beyond me.
It
Like,
was
how do
severely
you?
understaffed. It was
Yeah,
severely
how?
understaffed, and I think that's where, because it's like, again, you've seen Travis shows for the past 10 years. And people might get injured, people get unconscious, and there's gonna have to be personal accountability for people that were involved in that, right? Both
Yeah,
on the fan side and Travis side, because it's like, I don't think it was a big thing. Like, now he has, like, pled guilty to belligerent behavior before at shows that have resulted in injury. So it's like, we know that this man chooses violence. He does not care about normal human life in a certain context. I'm not saying he's a
what did I
bad
say?
person,
Not
right?
the safest
But
concert to attend.
it's not to say no, no. And there's plenty, because I mean, there's plenty of rock shows or electronic shows. There's
Yeah,
certain shows
yeah,
that people don't go
that's
to
true.
EDC because they're just like, it's a lot of people. It's jumping. It's not my type
Mm-hmm.
of experience. So I concur wholeheartedly, right? But I also understand there's a privilege that I walk with as, like, a kind of a, I'm not the tallest guy, I'm not the biggest guy, but I definitely, I couldn't get pushed down maybe as easy, or I there's a certain etiquette, there's experience that I have at Travis Scott shows to know how to go about my own personal safety,
Right.
right? I think the biggest failure here for me is that this really proves where we are at as far as fans and people that appreciate music, or don't appreciate for that regard.
because I don't know how anybody can continue pushing, knowing that there is nowhere else to go. And I've been pushed by any kind of rude concert goer. People have gotten elbowed in the face from me. Maybe you don't remember my face because you probably were knocked unconscious at Coachella, but some of y'all remember me during Beyonce. Because y'all try to push me. And that's fine. It don't work that way for me. So I really hope this makes people ask bigger questions, not just about concert safety. Because again, Travis has been for 10 years, like Live Nation shows, Golden Voice shows, and nothing of this magnitude has ever happened. Right? It's the fact that him and his team were not equipped to handle this. Period.
And to me, that is ridiculous. And there's no excuse for that. How are you not equipped for a festival of this magnitude, of this size, this capacity? How are you not equipped? Especially even specifically just with staffing. How are you not equipped for that? That's beyond me. And I'm seeing people on lawsuits. Drake was added to a lawsuit I saw because he was even there.
Yes, he was. He performed.
Money that they can get if you were injured or whatnot, those families who lost victims. And like you said, that won't bring their loved one back. And it's very, very, very sad. But they deserve as much as they can get from that because there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. I have no sympathy for Travis Scott or his team on this one.
I don't. I don't have one. I feel some people feel the sincerity in his statements that he's made. I don't. Because again, you've always been this way. I hate how the media, specifically People magazine, had to center Kylie Jenner in this and to say that pregnant Kylie Jenner is safe and okay after 8 people dead at her boyfriend and baby father's music festival. It's a failure on a lot of parts going around. Travis is going to have to share a lot of this blame because he sat there and enabled this. But more so, I sincerely hope that this makes fans second guess how they behave and how they operate at festivals like this. All of
so
this
part of your blame is on the fans. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of my blame is on the fans.
Wow.
Because the fans are what created this. Travis enabled it. Travis enabled it. But a lot of this has to be not on the
I would say Travis created it and the fans went with the flow. If Travis does not promote, like you said, the kind of language of rush or rage or whatever, then I don't think those. Do you think that would have happened? Because it didn't happen on any other performer.
Sure. But again, and I'm saying like Travis is going to take a lot of this blame. I'm not trying to absolve him of any blame.
No, I know.
But I'm saying people can also like you've been to shows, and again, I've been to every Travis Scott show, so I'm just saying from what I fucking see. These kids are dumb. No, I'm not referring to the people that lost their lives or every single person there, because when you look at every single account, nobody wants to go through that, or nobody, how much you like to party, should have to experience the traumatic events of Friday. But people were trampled.
Yeah.
And as much as Travis Scott can say, rush the stage, do whatever you want, people from the back should have sense. It was a crowd surge. People were saying, stop, and people kept going.
Yeah.
So I don't care if Travis is telling you keep going. Have some fucking sense and stop.
I just think it's tough because, well, no, what you're saying is correct. I just think it's just a tough situation overall because if there's people, like you said, if the people in the back are continuously pushing forward, they probably did not know what was going on in the front. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's right. But it was just probably...
It's not right.
It's definitely not right at all.
It's not right at all. And you should see it. Like, I'm telling, when you look at some of the video, when you look at the content, it is heard.
Yeah,
and you see what it is. You see
right.
what
it
is.
And you made a good point. It's a lot of dumb.
There is. I'm telling you as a fan, like as one of those sometimes very dumb fans. I promise you, these kids got to do better, and I can only hope that proper concert etiquette, people can evolve and be better at shows like this. Because something like this should never, ever happen. So, once again, prayers
out to the families.
All to the family and the people involved. We got to move on. I want some fun. We're going to do that after the break, okay? Capacity Dance Party is back. 11/11 means new beginnings for all my Angel Numbers fans. But yes, Capacity Dance Party is back and in Long Beach at a secret loft location. Only way in, CapacityDanceParty.com. Join myself, Malcolm Alexander, mixing and hosting alongside Pilot Jones, my girls Kaylin and Noma, M. Aurelius, and the legend DJ Dynamics. Tickets are $10, CapacityDanceParty.com if you want to get access in to the grooviest party around.
All right, Unfiltered Gems here. I'm Ryan Hale.
What up? I'm Malcolm Alexander.
That's correct. Yeah, we're back, man. I know, obviously, like we said, got some lighter, more fun topics to dive into now. One of which is from your favorite sport, Malcolm, football.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm a huge football fan. You know this.
Or as you like to call it, sports ball.
Sports ball. No, it's the premier sport of the Brinkley household here.
The premier sport. No, but as people have already probably heard, last week, Aaron Rodgers, one of the faces of the NFL, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, tested positive for COVID last week.
It's a shame.
But it was a little shocking because at the beginning of the season, he told the media that he was quote unquote immunized.
Yeah.
Immunized.
Yes.
Kind of alluding to the fact that he was also vaccinated. And then later comes out to say last week, when he joined the Pat McAfee show, to give his side of everything that was going on after he tested positive for COVID, he stated that, no, I just said I was immunized. I never said I was vaccinated. The media didn't ask me a follow-up question. And he gave a bunch of excuses about not being vaccinated, the rules that the NFL has, and all of this stuff. And he had some interesting things to say also about the great MLK.
The great MLK said that you have a moral obligation to object to unjust rules and rules that make no sense.
That's crazy,
Aaron. I don't even know where to begin with this.
What is that a proper MLK quote?
I couldn't find that original MLK quote. I know what he is kind of alluding to.
I see what he's alluding to.
Similar. But it was nothing. What he was talking about is nothing like what MLK was talking about. He was talking about the race war, civil rights, all of this stuff, not about not wearing a mask or not. Aaron, stop it. And that's what he goes on to say after
watch the whiteness work. I'm sorry, did you just use one of our black leaders' voices to justify boldly to justify your lie? Oh, got it. Okay. This really makes me think, like, I don't want to make this is not a race issue, but the funniest thing is that I feel white men will be protected for their lives and black men will be shamed for their truths. Look,
say it again.
One more again.
Just one more.
Look, just one more again. White men will be celebrated for their lies and protected for their lies, while black men will be shamed for their truths.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Oh, sorry. Go.
Yep. No, go ahead.
That does not mean that I agree with Kyrie, but I think it's really hilarious that Kyrie never lied. Kyrie said, "It is what it is."
Right.
And Aaron lied and is getting protected. It's like, and I don't think it's a race thing, because I would only hope that whatever black sports players whatever receivers or other people, other black men that are on that team, they would keep that same energy. Because I bet you, I hope in the NFL that there's black players right now that are being protected because they lied about getting a vaccine. That would make me forget all this.
I don't believe that's the case.
It would make me forget all of it. It really would.
I don't believe that's the case, and I try not to make everything a race thing. But I don't believe that if it was Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson that was in the situation, that he would be getting the same protection, quote unquote. Like they're not killing Aaron Rodgers as much as I think they should be. I've seen people and analysts come out and say stuff about it, but I heard analysts calling Kyrie flat out stupid, selfish, all of blah blah blah, all of this stuff, and they were killing this man for a while just for him making a choice to not get vaccinated. Yeah. Whether you agree with it or not, like we've actually said on the podcast, we didn't agree with it, but that's his decision. He came out and said it. He followed protocol. He took the responsibility. He took the L. He's not playing right now.
Not at all.
Because
still
he made a decision
still
for
get
him.
Millions. I don't feel bad for him.
I don't even know if he's getting paid game checks. I don't think so. But you're right. He's still getting millions. He's still getting paid somewhere. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he's still getting paid. Yeah,
I don't.
he's fine. He's
my
fine.
sympathy out the window for Kanye.
Yeah, no sympathy. But I'm just saying, I don't believe. It's hard for me to believe. I'll say that if it was a black player or a black quarterback, that they would be giving him the same kind of very light
To play
response.
devil's advocate. I would hope they would, and I think they might. I would
hope
black
they
people
would.
are
I don't think so,
skeptical about the vaccine. I would hope that for star players of these teams, these owners and these coaches are extending the same protection of these black.
It's just funny to hear you say this. This is the same NFL that you were killing about the whole Super Bowl thing.
Yes, known race. Again, every headline about the NFL.
They're known racists. Exactly.
Well, but I said I'm playing devil's advocate. I didn't say it's what I believe. I said playing devil's
Well,
advocate.
Okay, well, I don't even think there's a devil advocate's theory for this one, because I don't think it's possible. Maybe I'll give it a 2%.
Hey, but you don't know. It's like
I don't.
Hey,
You're right.
What did Kanye say? We're gonna get to Kanye in a minute. What did Kanye say when he got his MTV award? They want to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. So you can take your 2% all you want. I'm literally gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna hope that these white owners, especially because they love their black players so damn much, because us, we make them the money. I would only hope that they offer the same level of protection.
I don't believe that's the case. I think Aaron Rodgers is a flat out liar. It was embarrassing. It was
Flat out. I mean, just period.
Yeah, just period. It was a flat out lie. That's stupid. And then to come out and try to defend your law and to make comments like, "Oh, if you're upset about what I did, if you're upset about my choice, then I know you're going to be more upset because I'm not. My immune system is going to be so much greater now that I've had COVID because I've listened to my new friend Dr. Joe Rogan." Are you kidding me, Aaron?
Esteemed
Like the
epidemiologist,
blasphemy.
journalist, thought leader, Joe Rogan. Oh yes.
It's just very ignorant. It's very ignorant to me. Very ignorant. And to say, oh, the media didn't ask me a follow-up question. If they would have asked me a follow-up question, I would have dove deeper. But then I don't believe that we should have to wear masks at press conferences and all this stuff. Like, why? It's something that you don't agree with. Cool. But your choice has consequences, just like every other choice does.
Well, and
every
also,
decision you make has a consequence.
And also, I think it's the fact that as you just said, it's the consequence, and it's like you should be comfortable living with that consequence. I don't like, if you care about your team, then where is your team integrity? Where is your sportsmanship? I would call Kyrie Irving more of a sportsman in this because he just said, "Look, I'm a bow out. I ain't gonna fight. I ain't gonna say shit. But here's my truth. Here's what it is." And I had the nerve to even question Kyrie's like sportsmanship, like where it's like you just couldn't get vaccinated. But no, if that's not what he wants to do it, great. Because in comparison to this, in contrast to this story, that was the most unsportsmanlike thing that you do because it just put your whole team at jeopardy.
Literally.
Because you wanted to lie.
Literally. And shame on the Packers too for covering this up, like because he made the comment in his interview that the whole team knew about it, the Packers organization knew about it. Well, shame on them for hiding this. As soon as they found this out, they should have came out. He said the league knew about it. Well, then they should have came out and told the media this. Because now the biggest thing is you're lying to us as the fans, you're lying to the media, you're lying to the people who pay money to watch you play. Well, that's foolish to me.
Well. Known racist organization continues to perpetuate and protect white men. I am shocked. I think when you sent that, like even the NBA one about like, oh yeah, he used the N-word. It's like old white men accused of being a racist. I am shocked. I would never expect it. Like it's just
sad. We're not even shocked anymore. We're numb to it.
It's not even numb. It's just like obviously, like and part of me for walking in and seeing old white men and having that expectation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that I walk around to every old white man I see and I'm just like, I just assume that you're racist. But it's just like, I know what to expect. It's the same thing when I know what to expect of old black people with money. You've got not only does money change you, or make you more of what you are as far as your own prejudice and your own beliefs, but when you're a man, a white man or a black man, and you get money eventually, I would not expect you to give a shit. Right. I just wouldn't. Because you're rich. I see, like, you especially. We work with rich old people all the time. They're hard in their beliefs. They could care less about what the masses or the underlings, the lower orders, if you will, would think. They could care less.
True.
What they care about is their money and their beliefs being protected at all cost in their interest.
Sad but true.
And of course, I'm sure the team's going to go along with the lie. Why? Because that's your star QB.
Yeah.
Look, I know that quarterback that's QB, just so y'all know. Welcome to Sports with Malcolm Alexander. Anyway. Thank you. Sarah's clapping. Sarah's like, look at me knowing some sports. But that's your star player. So it would make a lot of sense why they would go at the lengths to protect him. I just want to know. I don't want to know why, because I know why. I just answered why. I have nothing. Right. I have nothing else on this story. It's not. It doesn't even irk me. It's just hilarious. I think it's just further perpetuation of the circus. Literally. I'm taking the ivermectin, the horse medicine that Joe Rogan prescribed. My immune system's fire, and then has the nerve to quote MLK in your lie.
That's the foolishness that took me out.
Look, that's why it's Margarita Day for recording. I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna wish ill will on Aaron, but I do wish that they lose every single game from here on out.
Damn. Well, yeah, you don't like the Packers anyway, so that's fine. Yeah. Well, I mean,
this makes it even easier.
It makes it even easier for you
to lose every single game from here.
So then, I want to know, like, what do you think? Because I don't know how punishments or penalizations work.
There's really nothing they could do at this point, because if the NFL already knew about it ahead of time, there's really no punishment. He's already supposedly following all of the protocols except for wearing masks at press conference, because he stated in his interview that just doesn't make any sense to him. So he's not going to do that one. But he's following every other protocol supposedly. So it's really no punishment that I think they can give him, especially if the organization knew about it and everything. So sadly, it's just something he's just getting away with a lie.
You know,
that's what it looks like.
I'm going to end it on this. I really want to know, for the people that are so, the mask are bullshit, the vaccine's bullshit, no matter how you feel about it, choosing to wear a mask or not choosing to wear a mask, I want to know, how do you choose to citizen and how do you choose to community as a verb? If you just choose not to go, like, just because you have a personal opinion, I don't know if a personal opinion should always override your support of your fellow man and of your community and of your team. It's a mask. It's a piece of cloth over your face. Get over it.
Not going to kill you.
Get over it. Like, right. I'm just so, like, again, we cover so much on this podcast. People are dying all around the world. We still in a global pandemic. Like, you know, black people still ain't got proper food and shelter. Indigenous people still don't have reparations. Black people still don't have reparations. I don't know. There's a bigger issues here. And you're still mad about a piece of cloth over your face. Regardless of your personal opinion, where is just your decency for your fellow man? And now, I'm not coming from like mask help and save people. I'm just saying, like, just wear the mask and shut the fuck up. Like, there's just bigger, there's bigger fish to fry. No? Or is that just me?
No, you're right on it.
Maybe I'm just broke and I just don't understand. Maybe give me some millions and it'll change me. But, like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But that's it, man.
Very, very interesting.
Look, I want to move it on because I want to talk about black excellence, to be completely honest. I want to talk about just illustrious black actors, an ensemble cast that have, quite frankly, given us one of my easily favorite movies of the year. Of the year. Y'all, I'm teasing it. I want to get into a new segment. Ryan and I, we consume so much media. You know what I'm saying? There's so much content that we're consuming. And I know that y'all are as listeners and viewers as well. So we have a new segment we're calling Our Pick Six. That's a football term for those that don't know. I came up with that. I brought that to the team, and I said we should do a pick six because that's a foosball play. I'm just saying. Anyway, every single week, Ryan and I are going to break down a 3 and 3 of things that we are consuming. And collectively, we both agreed that we really, really, really want to highlight Netflix's newest Western, directed by James Samuels, the god. I mean, musician, director, actor. I mean, just James Samuels is the god. But Netflix's newest black Western, The Harder They Fall, produced by Sean Jay-Z Carter. Hail. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on this damn movie.
Facts.
it's incredible. It just every single actor in it. Delroy Lindo, Jonathan Majors. I mean, Hollywood's newest heartthrob. Like, move over Michael B. Jordan. Like, Jonathan Majors is coming for. It's coming for that spot, man. Like, Jonathan Majors got the girls tripping, bro. I'm telling you, and rightfully so. He is incredibly talented, a great actor. He just really takes you there. You know what I'm saying? You probably recognize him as well from Lovecraft Country, and you're going to be seeing him as Kang, the newest MCU villain. And I'm talking Kang. And for those that, like, I'm a comic nerd, hell, you know this. For those that know comics, if there's anyone badder than Thanos, it's Kang the Conqueror. And Jonathan Majors is going to be that in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I'm talking Regina King as well. Zazie Beetz.
I love Zazie.
Oh my gosh! And playing the light-skinned, pretty Stagecoach Mary.
That's so beautiful.
That caught a lot of flack, by the way, because Stagecoach Mary is a dark-skinned, more heavy-set woman. And so they were. I
thought it was a nice change. I wasn't mad about it.
Well, it's not authentic to the character, and so just to sell a movie, you put a.
I think we're getting a little picky.
I mean, that's not what we're talking about. Clearly, you're blinded by how fine she is. I'm not saying that she's not fine.
Yeah.
I just think that you also have incredible dark-skinned women
actors
that could have actresses that played the role. But Zazie did well in it. She killed it. I'm not saying anything. But we're just asking for authenticity because dark-skinned people do deserve representation and authenticity as far as their portrayals in film. That's where I'll leave that. But it just an ensemble cast, Lakeith Stanfield, everybody just brought it. Idris Elba. I can keep going. So if you have not seen The Harder They Fall, do yourself a favor. Turn on your Netflix, borrow somebody's password, but don't borrow mine. Hale, what'd you think of the movie?
Man, I thought it was amazing. So amazing. This is the only movie I think that I've watched, man, twice in 2 days this year. I mean, movie was really, really, really good, and I enjoyed it. Even better the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. Just the way it was shot, the way they had the soundtrack was awesome. The plot was amazing. I mean, perfect. Everything, bro. Even the details of the scenes of them going to Mayville and it was it's a white town and bro, it was just dope, man. I loved it, and especially being a videographer, seeing the way that they. Talking about editing the music and seeing the way that they did that in some scenes and then zooming in on Jonathan Majors' character and stuff like that. It was dope to me, and I loved it. And the cast, my God, I mean, those people played their behinds off in that movie.
I'm sorry, absolutely amazing. I just want
Lakeith Stanfield. Good God.
Here's what I'll say about Lakeith. Lakeith plays himself at every role. People love to be like,
I was about to say the same
Lakeith plays
thing.
himself.
Like, how can he do that? This dude has been the same in Atlanta. I was like, I'm just watching an Atlanta episode.
I'm watching Darius.
I feel like.
I literally like Darius like sold me some weed and came here and got a sharpshooter and was like doing the thing. But still he killed it. Everybody.
I think Regina King was my
yes.
Trudy. I loved it. Everybody was good.
Trudy.
Yeah.
I love Trudy.
Shout out to him.
Oh, Nat Love, baby. Nat Love. Yeah. Just like it literally made me I've ridden a horse a few times, but it really made me want to be an equestrian. When I was done watching that movie, I said, let me go ahead and saddle up.
It didn't make me
want
to do that. I had some bad experiences on horses. So
I realized, hell, you just don't like nature. That is fine. Like, I'm gonna go get my ass on a horse.
Maybe I don't like nature because I've had so many bad experiences in nature. Maybe that's why.
So that's
I had a hiking accident. I've had a horseback riding accident. It's just not for me. I get it. I'll accept it. It's okay. I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad about it. It's fine. It is what it is. Look, it's an incredible movie.
Definitely check it out.
I know James Samuels in what he's talked about in interviews. He's really opening up a universe similar to the MCU. Mm-hmm. He's opening up a whole universe for black actors, black figureheads across history to now come into canon. I think that was beautiful because naturally this movie it's based on real people, but these are not fictional real events, right? But it's a fictional story. And so it's beautiful because I was talking to my grandmother about it, and my grandmother's our family historian. Like if I know anything, it's because of her as far as history and my own family's history. And so I told her about it. I said it's a black Western. Before I even told her the cast or the characters involved, she goes, well, I know they didn't have Pickett in there. I said, yeah, Will Pickett was in it. She goes, what, do they have Cherokee Bill in there? I said, and she's listing, she goes, Nat Love. She starts listing all these characters because these are the stories I grew up with. Like she's
crazy.
told me about these characters, and so it was just so beautiful to see them on screen and just played by incredible actors. It's just fire from the moment it kicks off.
Jim was my boy.
Jim, that's my dog. That's my man. That's my man. I tell you.
Man.
That's
So good, bro.
That like I'm telling you, it's an incredible movie. So if you have not watched it, please do yourself a favor and go ahead and stream Netflix's The Harder They Fall. I think it's also in select theaters. I might be going to see it in theaters as well, just for the real cinematic experience. I can watch it here at home, but I tell you, it's so great.
Really
Hale, I want to know, what else do you have up in one of your pick sixes?
My next pick for this week has to be a shout out to the duo that I believe will have the album of the year come Friday. And that is Silk Sonic. Yep, I said it to you a few weeks ago. Silk Sonic.
Oh, man.
And I know we were talking about it, and you were like, the last song was just okay. And it was hilarious how you texted me and was like, man, I was in love with the last song. Because they're really that good. These dudes are just the coldest to me. Silk Sonic, their new song "Smoking Out the Window" is a hit. If you haven't heard it,
It's great. I love every
and their new
single
album
joke.
coming out Friday.
Yeah, I love every single joke about. People have been on Twitter talk about, see, this is what R&B needs to be. We're done drinking lean. We're getting back to real pure Coke. It's what everybody. They said that's why the R&B's getting good again. I just think cocaine's a hell of a drug, baby.
Stupid.
Oh
My god.
You know what's wild about that record is actually one of Anderson .Paak's team. I want to say she's on the team or she's an engineer. She works closely with Anderson .Paak because one of his studios is here in Long Beach. Was actually at Fight Club. It's a monthly party that happens here in Long Beach. I was lucky enough. It's been going on for over a decade, and I was lucky enough this past Friday to be able to DJ at Fight Club. It was super dope. And Ray Khalil, shout out to you, sis. She came up to me. She goes, "Hey, yo, I work at Andy. Is there any way that you can play the new record if you have it?" Which I did. Because why would I not?
Right.
I adore Silk Sonic. And I'm a good ass DJ.
Oh, do you?
But she goes,
"Do you adore Silk Sonic?" We'll talk about that later.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. But she came up to me. She goes, "Hey, if you have the record, could you play the record? I want to see how it works in the club." And I made it happen, and the club went off. Like people had already known it. If they didn't, they was just grooving, and it was just super fire, man. I thoroughly appreciated it. So I love the record. I think it's fire.
Yeah, definitely fire. Yeah, man. And like I said, me and you talked about this with some other friends a few weeks ago, but how I think that they're going to have the album of the year. I believe the only thing that's hurting me from really going all in on that pick beforehand is that I saw the album track list and it's only 9 songs. So it's like, ugh.
I love it.
And they've already released 3 of them.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to top, especially if the rest of the songs are the caliber that we've heard from "Leave the Door Open" and "Skate" and "Smoking Out the Window."
Yeah.
I mean, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, no,
And they got brother Bootsy Collins on there too.
Who's hosting
now?
it. He's hosting.
Come on now.
The album. You know,
Man,
and I'm sorry,
I was excited, bro.
It's track 4 that has me tripping because it features. There's no features on the album with the exception of one song that features not only Bootsy, but the Bootsy of today, Thundercat. And I am living. I am like the 2 bass gods, the OG, the real bass god, not the based god like Lil B, but the bass gods. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like I am so freaking hype. And you know the reason that I am abolished Silk Sonic. You know the reason that I'm on it.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I've heard it before, but it's just it's kind of haterish to me.
It's not haterish. You've been promising me. It's just like, baby, I promise to love you for forever. That's pretty much what they told me. They said
they're coming through on their promise. They never said it was going to be a summer album.
Stop.
You wanted it to be a summer
But
album.
You're damn right I want it to be a summer album, okay? You're damn right I want it to be a summer album. How you?
That's not what they said, though.
It doesn't matter what they said. They said the album was coming. They said it was coming in the
And
spring.
it is.
No. They said the album was coming during the springtime. The spring came and went. Then they said it's still coming out. The summer came and went. And now y'all give it to me not even the fall, you give it to me to the winter.
Shout out to Silk Sonic. Y'all did exactly what y'all wanted. We still hype for it. And Malcolm, even though he playing talking about abolish y'all, he as hype as anybody else. You did what you were supposed to do.
You know what's wild? So right after the whole Travis thing on Friday, there's the Day in Vegas festival happening next weekend. Deciding whether or not I may go. I actually have the next weekend off, and I'm like trying to decide if I want to.
I'm not going.
If
It's
I
just
wanna
the same people we saw day and night. So I'm like, I'm good.
It kind of is, but I guess it's different. There's more music.
Yeah.
I actually, believe it or not, she's not a headliner, but I really would love to see Doja Cat. But anyway, that's not besides. Like, I just think that she's like she's dope right now. I'm like loving all her shit. But White texted one of our group chats and he said, "Look,
I know Travis is not going to be there next weekend. This is on Friday, like before he even pulled out. I mean, you already knew he was going to pull out. But he said if they know what's good for him, they would replace Travis with Silk Sonic because the album comes out on that Friday. And I couldn't help but I was like, look, man, if some shit like that happens, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
If Silk Sonic goes, you going to see me right there next to you. I'll be out there. I'll be right there.
I was just,
man,
that would be what I'm talking about, man. So Silk Sonic, the new album, I think it's self-titled.
Yeah,
it's just called Silk Sonic.
No, an evening.
An evening with Silk Sonic.
Right. Yeah, let's get it right. Let's get it right. An
evening.
What's your next pick, though?
My next pick, man, if y'all have not seen the latest MCU film, I need you to go see it. I'm going to, hell, did you see it?
Just saw it today, bro.
Bro, what'd you think?
I thought it was excellent. Thought it was a really good movie. I will say, Little Downer, not my favorite Marvel movie that they've ever done, but I did love the storyline. I love the plot. I thought it was super dope. I like the cast a lot. I was a huge Game of Thrones fan, so it was dope to see two of the kings of the North in the movie.
Okay, see that exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
it was dope though. I enjoyed it. And Angelina Jolie did a really great job. I can't think of this dude's name, but what's his name from Atlanta?
Oh, Brian Tyree Henry.
Yes. He played his part very well. You know what's funny though?
Killed it.
Is I liked him more after. You remember the scene when Ajax is talking to him in Hiroshima? Yeah, that part I was like, this is very corny. His acting was not on par for me there when he was fake crying, and I wasn't feeling that part. But after that, I was like, okay, you did well after that.
Yeah,
you did well after that.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's funny. My man looks to me, and I'm so sorry. Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. I cracked up because at the end of it, I saw with one of my brothers. He goes, "Okay, it was great. It's just really hard for me to swallow Paperboy being gay,
bro." You know, that's so crazy. I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, it was hard to see that just because I've only seen him as Paperboy, and then seeing him as that too. And he's not really. Is he gay in real life or no? Okay, no, I didn't think so.
Brian Tracy's not queer. Yeah, no. But it's fine, and it's not an issue. It was just him telling me that because it wasn't him shading. No. Tyree. It was him looking at his character and seeing Paperboy the whole time.
And the Atlanta trailer just came out too, and you know he was the face of it.
Yeah, at the same time, so you saw it. But incredible actor. No, what I would say, look, the movie gets 10 out of 10 from me just off the mother sucking fact of Angelina with the blonde hair. I said, baby girl. I have never been more attracted to Angelina Jolie than in this movie. I literally
that was not my eternal crush there. Cersei though. Cersei can have all my money.
Really?
Oh,
Angelina.
my God.
Oh my God. Angelina was looking good. She is. Cersei's
she's fine.
But Angelina was great.
Angelina was great. I've seen you, Angelina.
Really?
I've seen it.
Oh my.
She looked the same as all the other times I've seen her. Just with blonde hair.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen Angelina in a minute. Like she hasn't really been the movie that I like rushed to see in a while. So maybe I just hadn't seen Angelina in a minute. But I really forgot how fine she was. And like with the blonde hair, I was like,
I think she's fine.
Yes, Angelina Jolie is fine. Okay.
To each
all
his
right.
own.
Wow.
He doesn't do it for me.
Okay. Unfiltered Gems poll. Is Angelina fine?
Please,
yes or no?
Please,
Need to know.
Please tell me.
Help me. Because clearly, this man Ryan Hale is blind.
How am I blind? I did not say she was ugly.
Angelina,
she's just not fine to me.
Fine.
Oh, okay. Now you're tripping.
Okay. All right.
She's fine.
In Eternals, bro. Like I have never in Eternals, the blonde hair, Angelina Jolie, fine.
You're tripping.
Yeah. Okay. You know it's fine. I know my gems.
No, they're not gonna be with you on this one.
My gem's gonna be with me. My gem's gonna be with me.
If they with you on this one, they some cold because that's not gym like. That's not gym worthy.
Wow! Oh my God. Okay, what's another one of your picks, sir? Because like Jesus, I am not gonna be here for the Angelina Jolie slander. Please go see Eternals.
Yeah, go check it out. My last pick is a dope performance. I don't watch a lot of live performances. But obviously a bunch of cool festivals taking place right now, or as of the last few weeks. One of the biggest ones, Rolling Loud, out in New York. Yeah. And if those who did not know, J. Cole headlined that New York Rolling Loud, and actually performed his whole set in a as he called it, a torrential downpour of rain. I mean,
Yeah.
a full rainstorm. And watching that, bro, it just made me respect J. Cole so much more. I had just went to the tour like we had talked about several episodes ago.
Yeah.
But just watching that, bro, just shows how dope he was. Like, this guy gave the same energy there that he gave to us in Phoenix, and it was pouring rain. Like, it was amazing to watch. Really dope to watch. So if you have a chance, go check out J. Cole's live full performance at Rolling Loud, New York, on YouTube. It was dope to check out.
No, it's super fire. And before I get into my last pick, I really want to say there's a lot of criticism on the Eternals, and I need y'all to look at who's criticizing it the most. That is all I'm going to say. It got one of the lowest critic ratings of any Marvel movie. They were trashing it.
I did not even know that.
And so I looked in, I started diving in, I said, who are these writers? There's a common thread I found between anyone that had heavy critique of the movie. Once again, old, white
Oh, yeah, I'm
men.
not surprised. Not even close.
This was a beautiful movie when it came to representation. Because a white man was not the central focus of the movie. You had tons of people of color. You had handy, capable people. The girl that could sign, like, gorgeous. Like, I loved it. I loved the chemistry of everyone on. Like, so you were able to highlight people with abilities or handy, capable people. You're able to highlight people of color. You're able to highlight queer couples and queer parenting. I'm like, for me, like, the diversity initiative in me was living for this freaking movie. I'm telling you, man, because it's like Black Panther. Of course, you're going to put all black cast. Shang-Chi, you're going to do what you can to have an all-Asian cast. For Eternals, they really took the risk, and Chloe Zhao killed it as far as a director. That's all I'm going to say, okay? My last pick, hold on, it's right here. My last pick is a book that was written by the young king, Kanye Weston. I'm turning the book over. I'm not looking at his name because this is my cousin.
dope.
This is his book. It's called Yonda. I have a signed copy that I will not be giving away because it's mine. Okay? Y'all, I really need you right now. I will have to put this in the show notes. For sure. I'll have to put this in the show notes. This is one of the most beautiful books I've read this year. And I've actually, this year, probably more than any other year, I've actually read a few more books. Easily one of the most beautiful, one of the most compelling pieces of Black history and American history that I've had the chance of consuming. And it's really special because it's a story that is both true and about my cousin's lineage in North Carolina. And the land, the acres, hundreds of acres of land that he has now adopted from his family lineage of Black and Indigenous people. And this entire book is a love letter to Black and Indigenous American culture.
Dope.
It literally accounts the family traditions that his family has set for him and that have trickled down across generations. It talks about, like Black American and like Black American vernacular, not just AAVE, but these customs, these words, these phrases, these foods, how we tend to our land, how, like, literally it is almost like a whole like not even a manifesto, but like a celebration of what community could really be if we all band together. He talks about how in the South, the closest civilization, and he defines civilization as where a Walmart is. In this town, the close civilization is miles away. So what do you do when you're in a community? He goes, well, most times if one person's going, they let the whole town know, and they say, who needs something, right? I know I talk so much about community. I talk so much about how to be a citizen. And it's just a beautiful book that really celebrates that because it puts down all the, you go do this and you do your own thing. No, it's like we're in this community together. And I think it's great. It's Yonda, Worlds Beyond Words, Kanye Weston. That's my cousin, y'all. Like, I need y'all. Follow him on social media at Call Me Kane, Kain. I need y'all to order a book. Like I said, I'll put it in the show notes, guys. One of the dopest pieces of literature that I picked up in a while. And cousin, I love you, fam. Great, 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 incredible job.
Do you like incredible musical performances and engaging conversations? Well, we've got both of those things for you right here at Mental Notes Live, the talk show focused on giving you tools to grow your faith, mindset, and progress. Hosted by yours truly, Ryan Hale. Be sure to follow us everywhere on any social media platform at Mental Notes Live, and go catch up on all of our previous episodes by visiting mentalnoteslive.com.
Well, the genius now known as Ye. The name change. I'm just trying to be respectful here. Kanye West, man, in one of the Drink Champs' biggest interviews. Shout out to Nori, DJ Effin. I am a fan of the Drink Champs podcast. They have put out probably some of the most entertaining podcasts I've seen in the past year. I'm definitely a newer fan, but I've been following them for a while. And I just shout out to Nori, man. He really knows his lane. He just knows where he's at. I love him as a podcast host. So if y'all like hip hop, it is all about hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If y'all like hip hop, run the Drink Champs podcast. If y'all like something entertaining, I'm excited for the next episode because Big Sean gonna have to come on to talk and defend himself. Because in this interview, Kanye just did Kanye. It's 2.5 hours of Kanye being Kanye. So y'all, we probably won't be able to get into every single intricacy in every piece of dialogue that Kanye brought up on this damn podcast. Lord knows. But I want to just talk about a few very, standout moments. One of which in which he says the worst thing that Kanye West has ever done is sign Big Sean to good music. which I thought was like asinine, pun intended, because also Kanye pushed against Big Sean's first single not being dance ass. And I'm sorry, this man said, built a mansion on that ass. That's an ass state. I can see why Kanye regretted it after that single, though. Everybody on Good Music had a single. This nigga had ass, You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see why Kanye has the issue there. But yeah, in an interview where really it was Kanye just popping off on just every single thing. And then I loved it. They had a name drop calculator.
What did it get up to?
Man, it got up to like 65 by the end of it. This man would sit there and talk about, so, I was at an Anna Wintour dinner, but I was sitting next to Oprah and talking to Spielberg at the same table. I'm just like,
this dude, man.
Man. Okay. There. Here's my question to you, Hale. I have a very direct question to you, and I really want to ask this, okay? Do you feel like Kanye is using a Christ narrative for his image, and do you think it's authentic?
That's tough. He might be using it as a narrative for his brand or whatnot. I didn't see any of it on this interview. Per se. He didn't really talk about. Did he talk about? I'm trying to think. It was so.
Yes, he did.
He talked about it a little
yes,
bit,
he
but
did.
I don't think he used it in this interview as much as I've heard him use it in the past.
Well, he still did a Sunday service on Sunday.
He did, but like I told you before, I have separated Kanye from Sunday service. I know that's his. Sunday service is under him, but I've separated him from Sunday service because I don't think all of those people in the choir and then the director and all of them stuff and just knowing some of the people who are in the choir and different things like that or have sang with them, I don't believe that their views align with Kanye's. You get what I'm saying? So I don't believe to be a part of Sunday service, you've got to sign up to this image or whatever Kanye has become over the last few years. So I found a way to separate it. I don't know if it's so to answer that question, it's tough. It's tough. Maybe a little bit. Maybe he's used it more than he should have, but I don't know. I more than anything, I think he needs help, to be honest with you. He's just out here running around entertaining us, and he needs help.
Well, and the reason I asked that question is because, even during the interview, he doubled down on really being very confident that the work that he's doing is of God.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
He doubled
down. And now he told Lauryn Hill
right?
that he's the leader. And she said, "No, you're a leader."
The leader, right? You're a leader. But he's convinced that he's leader. Like art. He's art's Moses. He's like
did. I
Moses.
forgot about that. He brought up Moses a lot
I paid
and was saying some
close
stuff
attention
that's
to
not
that.
even. I don't want to dive into that, but that's not even really accurate.
Because I think where I've been at with the whole Kanye thing is like I'm here for anybody's come to Jesus moment, legitimately. Like, and when you're really there to bare your soul, and say, this is for Christ. That also comes with a level of discipline to the gospel. And I'm not saying it's wrong if you drink or if you're smoking or anything like that, but it just how he was talking, the jealousy, it was dare I say, and I'm not trying to be no judge.
Right.
I'm not the I'm not the one with the Bible going around trying to tell somebody
Not a Bible
that
thumper.
I'm too Christian. Yeah, I'm not a Bible thumper. Yeah, I'm not a like, oh no, you ain't. No, that's not it. That's not it. I just found myself watching it, and I'm like, you're getting drunk. You're being a drunkard. You're like, and again, not judging it. I'm sitting here with my own cocktail during this podcast as we speak. It's not that, but for someone that holds themselves up to this Christ-like standard, so much so that you, quite frankly, think that you are God in this regard. Like, you think that you're really liberating all of us through Christ. I question the weaponization of Christianity and of Christ in this.
You know, it's something
to use it to like sell records,
Facts.
use it to drive this narrative. You know, and it's very scary because I don't think Christ should be weaponized.
Oh no, not at all. And that's crazy that, you know, in some ways he has done that. In this interview, like I said, I didn't see it as much as I've seen him use it at that in the past, even though he did bring up some biblical things that I didn't. They weren't quite accurate to me, but he's just.
And Lawrence, when I was watching, I wanted to text you and be like, "Fact check?"
bro, yeah. I didn't even want to dive into all of that, but something my mom has told me over the years, especially as me and my sisters have gotten older, is that as a Christian, one of the hardest things to do and one of the most important things to do is to protect your witness. Because if you are trying to go out and to tell somebody about Christ or to introduce somebody to Christ or tell them, maybe because I know a lot of people who have been hurt by church or they don't like church or God because of, you know, people who have been hypocritical Christians and things of that nature. So sometimes if you don't protect your witness, if you're out here living a life that is contrary to what you say you believe, then it's hard to really kind of witness to somebody or convince them of the truth. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's where Kanye is right now. I'm not going to say that he hasn't had a come to Jesus moment or where he's at in his walk or if it's real or not, because I don't know that. But all I do know that is that it doesn't seem like he's doing the best job of protecting his witness, especially like you said, if you appear on a podcast being jealous and showing envy and just talking out the side of your neck as he was doing. And as he's done multiple times, just a bunch of his comments have been reckless in my opinion. Yeah. So, and I feel like if you are trying to have this come to Jesus moment, also get help. I don't think I can stress that enough. Like, get some help, Kanye, please. Like, this is... Bro, this is too long that we've been talking about or making excuses like, oh, he hasn't been the same since his mom died, or he hasn't. Like, at this point, this is on Kanye West or Ye, whatever his name is now. Like, this is on him. Like, he needs to get some actual help. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And what's wild is that one of the people that he came at during the interview advocated for his help. I'm talking specifically about Talib Kweli. Who, at one point, when Kanye was doing his whole thing with his presidential race, like, Talib was tweeting saying, bro, come home, man. Like, just come home. Let's talk. Like, let's do all this. In which he sat during Quick Time with Slime. That's the Drink Champs segment of, like, this or that. Yeah. Love the segment. Nori asked him, Common or Talib Kweli? Through which he said, gotta be Common. Because he goes, I don't think Talib Kweli can rap.
I've never thought he was a good rapper and all this stuff.
And trashed him.
Killed him for no reason.
I was like, and then went on to trash Big Sean and John Legend, saying that they're being used by the Democrats
because we didn't want to go along with your circus of a campaign. Kanye, are you serious?
Now to that, not to his presidential race, but I think a lot of people will always look at the Kanye interviews and we just look for it for the entertainment, for the crazy, we know he's just gonna say some off the wall shit.
Sadly.
He might have been hitting on a few things.
That's what's crazy about his interviews is there are some times where he says stuff that is okay. Like, I get what you're saying, but then it's overlapped with so much foolishness and crazy off the wall talk that it's hard to pick out those things because then you forget about the thing that he said that was on the mark because he starts saying all this other crazy stuff. But you're right. There are some things that he hit on that was accurate.
Well, especially towards the end, right? I do not agree. Let me make this very, very clear. I do not agree with his stance on abortion. I do not. Because I do not think that as a man I should have any say with what a woman should do with her body.
I don't even know what his stance is, but go ahead.
He's very anti-abortion.
Oh, okay.
He makes it very known. Planned Parenthood was a white supremacist organization used as a way to levy black population control here in the U.S.
Gotcha.
And there's actually a lot of tests, there's a lot of studies, there's a lot of history there that also somewhat validates that
Okay.
point. Do I agree? Hell to the no. Let me make it very, very, very clear on record right here. But I mentioned that in contingency with his plan for community, his plan for this utopia in which black people can really fly, and not in the physical sense, but he really wants to liberate black people.
Right.
I don't like the language he uses around it, because what I want to hear him say is, I want to liberate black voices, but he just says us, we. Say exactly what it is. And my thing is that when I'm watching him, I said, hearing how he doesn't want to do Black History Month, he says, I want a Black Futures Month. I want a black. I see what he's trying to say.
Same.
I see what he's trying to say. He needs to write a book and have someone help him, though, because he can't say it out loud. I see what he's trying to say. And it really made me think towards the end of this interview, and maybe I'm going to ask you, I really think that Kanye is interested in raising black consciousness.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I would agree with that. But it's just hard, like I said before. It's hard for it's hard for people to get behind your raising of black consciousness movement that you're trying to create, Kanye, when you say so much foolish stuff. When you attack other black artists for no reason. When you attack black people because they don't agree with you on every single thing. When you attack black people because they have some notoriety like you do. Like, he attacked Just Blaze for no reason, talking about he copied you. Stop it.
Copy the stop it. Right?
Why? There's no need for that.
And I love that that was the only comment Jay-Z made. Jay-Z said, look, you ain't going to come at Just Blaze.
Yeah. He said, I think that was a little unfair.
Jay-Z made one comment. Yeah. No, that was a little unfair, which it was. Jay-Z simply said, he's like, when an album has to sound cohesive, we understand the assignment. The assignment was soul samples.
Bro, it's like...
So, yes, and it's going to sound the same.
And the way Just Blaze responded to that was with passion and sincerity, and he didn't even say anything disrespectful to Kanye like I thought that he should have, but he didn't. He was very nice to Kanye, and even Charlamagne the God. He came at Charlamagne the God talking about, you got to bring Biden on, and you got to make it seem like you're cool with Biden. When Charlamagne had one interview with Joe Biden, and has talked to Biden one time, and has shown so much love to Kanye West, like it's just like it's hard for me to get behind that movement when you are attacking black people at the same time.
In 100%, and that's why I'm like, and I mentioned his abortion stance only because I heard he kind of laid out this whole utopia that he wants, right? He's like, and again, I don't agree with the stance. I think please open up reproductive health resources to any and every woman in this country and in this world, because Lord knows we need them. But it was really wild, like hearing him talk about his dream society of where abortion wouldn't have to be an option because there's community centers. Black people, similar to how Jewish people have Jewish centers all across the states. He's like, we got Koreatowns, we got Chinatowns, we have little Cambodia here. We have all cultural meccas for everybody else. But we as black people still don't have that insulary form, we have the nonverbal communication, but the nonverbal ideation and communication of what this is and what we are all here to do collectively as black bodies and voices in this country. And to hear him kind of talk about, he's like, no. Come to Donda. You don't want to have the child. That's fine. Give us the child. We're going to have mothers, nannies, people, resources, teachers. Like, hearing how he wants to teach history, hearing how he wants to raise kids, I don't know if he's the one to do it. But in a perfect world, it's actually a really beautiful idea. No, it's a beautiful thing.
I understand what he's saying. Like,
it's something that I would love to aspire to.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand what he's saying. I just, it's hard for me to get behind it. Maybe it is the messenger. Maybe it's not even the message. So maybe it's the messenger.
It's the messenger. It's the messenger. Because like I said, I don't think I hear what he's saying. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not coming out that way. Like, I have to do my own higher consciousness translating for me, and I'm like, oh, I hear what he's saying. It's not coming out wrong, and no one's gonna catch it. Knowing that from Kanye, right? Because it sounds like it's foolishness all around it, but there's something good at the heart of it. I just really think one of my friends said it. She said, look, he just needs to have a book writer. He needs to have someone come in, take his thoughts, funnel them down into a book, and put it in a book. Because they said his ideas would be a lot better if people see them written down cohesively rather than like all this. And my only other ending point on the Kanye thing is he does need help. And seeing him drinking, seeing him smoking, they were asking about his divorce status. They were asking about Kim, and he's like, hey, the papers weren't filed.
Oh, yeah, he's still in love with
he
that
was
woman.
talking about very, very much so. And that's also the mother of his kids.
That's fine.
Like,
It's fine. I'm not
I
mad
don't-
about it. But it's just
Yeah.
his approaches is just so.
His approach is very rough, but he mentioned that in between taking a lot of shots at that time. And he says, yeah, we are really just going through it right now. And he was really just talking about himself, not even just the marriage. He's like, I'm going through it. And so I kind of appreciated it, and I noticed that level of vulnerability because I'm just like, damn, son. Like, I appreciated Kanye of his stature to really come on and just kind of be that open and just be like, nah, I'm actually doing this and I'm projecting because, like, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is probably one of the first interviews that he just and I love it. He called Nori his Joe Rogan because he wouldn't do that on a Joe Rogan pod. You know what I'm saying?
That was another thing. I know you
salute-
like Nori and all that. This is my last point. I know you like Nori and all that, which is
No, you're
cool.
good.
But I just felt like that podcast was such a yes man whole podcast. It was like they was just getting behind Kanye and anything he said. I was like, y'all are tripping.
Not exactly.
Bro, they was clapping
I love
for
it
this man every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, Nori was clapping.
Yes.
Every 30 seconds, bro.
But consider what I like about Nori though is Nori didn't understand.
Yeah. He
Kanye
said,
said,
"Oh."
and Nori goes, all right, yeah, whatever. Come on, clap it up. Like,
Just clap it
that's
back.
why I love
I
Nori.
was like, oh my
but
gosh.
that's why I like it because like it's not. I don't think they were yes manning, right? They weren't saying you're right. They were. Nori would say, all right, yeah, we don't understand it, but okay, all right. Like I like it because it's like Nori straight admitted, like I think I do not understand what you are saying.
I
but
just
like,
felt like they
go
were
off.
hyping him up so much. I don't know.
But if you watch any
They do this all the
interview,
time?
They hype up.
Okay.
They do this
Dope.
with every single person.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't yes manning more than like literally that is their
That's what they do.
brand.
Okay.
That is what they do.
feel it.
They celebrate every single person.
So
You know what I'm saying? That comes in there. So
So-
I would just say like there's
Okay,
that.
all
So if y'all haven't peeped it, man, it was incredibly entertaining. It's 2.5 hours of sheer foolery,
Good God.
entertainment. There were some gems dropped. He comes to John Legend saying John Legend's a tool for the Democrats. Big Sean's a tool for the Democrats. Where's he ever done with sign Big Sean? He name drops up to 65, 75 billion people. It's just if you need something fun to put on, throw it on. It's hilarious.
Yep. If you don't-
and if you
Oh,
haven't,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna segue that if you need something fun to put on, definitely throw the Kanye interview on. If you don't want to watch anything too fun, if you're looking for something fun to watch, don't put on the last last episode of Insecure. Not a fun episode to watch as we pivot.
Is that the segue?
Yeah.
I need a refill. Hold on. Can we pause? I need a refill.
I need
a
pivot
refill.
into
I
our
need a
weekly Insecure segment of the episode.
I'm just upset.
Very, very stressful, I think is the right word, episode last night. Spoiler
This was
alert
chaotic.
as usual. So if you all
Big
watched
spoiler
it,
alert. Welcome.
Yeah.
What we gonna call it?
We haven't figured out.
Who was our man in last episode? Molly's. Man. Is this Herbert's Corner? That's our Insecure segment. Herbert's
You
Corner.
stupid.
No, but really, Village Gems. It's our Insecure wrap. We got to talk about the latest episode of Insecure. Just fucking chaotic.
It was so
Hell,
crazy
I don't
because
even-
after
Oh.
episode 2, you left that episode with all the feels. I left that episode so encouraged, so hyped, so happy. And this episode, I mean, hit you from jump. I was like, oh, this is what we doing tonight, huh? This is what we doing tonight. This all you're going to do me. Man.
So I need to know your first place of contention with this episode. What was the first moment of I could throw my controller?
How
I
in
could
the
throw,
world are you finding out that your
Say it.
child was
Say it.
born? What attack? Ah! Almost lost it. Almost lost it. Oh my God. I said, what?
Now, look, let's just call it, because of course throughout the episode we can pick on every fight that Lawrence and Condola had, every disagreement, everything that they don't see, right? Can we just simply say and agree on the fact that not only is Condola controlling beyond means,
Beyond.
we knew this.
Her name is not Condola, it's Controller.
Oh.
Controller.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth right now. Shut your horse mouth. We have an objective podcast to have right now. You're not going to call this a controller. But she's controlling us all shit.
Bro. Like, I was
My God.
goodness.
No, now. Look, we got to go here.
Let's do it.
Because what needs to be said is, one, we already knew this. She already told him last season, I don't need you. Quite frankly, alluded to not really wanting you in her life as a mother with this child. Now, of course, any good father would make sure, like, I don't care what you think or what you want. It takes two to tango, and this child is mine as well. So I celebrate the fact that Lawrence, and I'm forever Lawrence Hyde just for the fact that this man literally came in and is making the point. Tough. But he's gonna have to modify how he wants to approach fatherhood. Because quite frankly, you can't live in San Francisco and be there for your baby. There's no way that it's gonna happen, bro.
It's
not gonna happen.
You know who Scotty Beam is? You know Scotty Beam.
Yeah, of course.
I saw her tweet out and was like, a dude always wants praise or hype for doing the bare minimum, and then she was talking about the Insecure episode, obviously. And she hashtagged that, and I was just like, man, because obviously we're Team Lawrence. We've made that clear on this podcast, and I love Lawrence,
even though it was very hard.
Very hard to root for him on this one.
Very hard this episode.
Like, it started off where I was like, man, Lawrence is in the right. Then it was just back and forth. Because, like you said,
I couldn't put him in the right.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I love the scene of where they split screened it and they showed Lawrence living his life and then Condola with the baby, and it just really showed how he was trying to have his cake and eat it too, and trying to be a father, man. It's not gonna work like that, bro. Like, you're gonna have to, and it's sad because, like, we've seen his character grow. Now you've got a really good job. You're trying to find true happiness now. You're trying to grow and be the person that you wanted to be in the first season, right? Yeah. And now you finally got here, and now you have this baby. But that's not an excuse. You're not a victim here. And Condola said that in an episode. And that was one of the realest lines.
Yeah.
Like, not.
Before you came in and blew up my life,
not the victim
I said,
here,
if you don't take accountability for this. And I think a larger issue here, not a larger issue, but I think the big talking point, because I saw a lot of people on Twitter, right? Because a lot of people can make this about Condola.
Right.
Well, how can you do that? I love seeing men and some women try to put logic on a mother, especially a first-time mother's relationship with their newborn child. It's beyond logic.
Yeah.
So I need a lot of men and even a lot of women to shut the fuck up. Because so many, here's what I would do if I was the daddy. None of you are parents.
Yeah.
And a larger part is that none of your parents and what you say you think you would do if you were in this situation, you don't know if you would do that.
Yeah, it's tough because, like you said, Condola is very controlling. But like you said, it's also, there's something special about just seeing it. Obviously, I haven't been a parent yet, but just seeing the mother-child relationship, especially when you're going through breastfeeding and all of that, it's just very different. Yes. And as a man, because I was just talking to Woody about this the other night, because they just had their baby, obviously, not even a baby anymore, but 2 years ago.
I was like,
2 years ago. But he was just,
I was like, he is a whole woman
exactly. Now. He was just talking to me about how, like, Elliot is cool chilling with him now. Like, he was like, some of the best times where we just get to chill together. And beforehand, when Gabs would leave, it was hard because she would always want Gabs. And he was like, I was okay with that because I understood that there's some things I just can't give her right now. You get what I'm saying? And I don't feel like Lawrence is at that place yet. At the end of the episode, maybe he's getting there. I don't know. But I don't feel like he's at that place mentally yet where he understands that. And part of it is because of how it all started with when the baby was born. I just feel like they were at odds from jump. And I feel like instead of Lawrence humbling himself and being like, what can I do? It was like, oh, you don't want me to be in my child's life. I'm going to do whatever I can to be in his life, no matter what you say or whatnot. It was like he was trying to force his way in instead of trying to see, like, what do you need from me? What do I need to do? You know what I'm saying? And it was just more pride than anything, I think, from him.
It was pride that was his worst enemy this entire episode. And
pride is the devil.
We can talk about pride is the devil. Man, word to Cole. and of course, we can find faults in a lot of Condola's logic here. Sure, I think the fact of the matter is, Condola not only could care less to have Lawrence in life. Condola doesn't like Lawrence.
No, she doesn't. But she does. She does.
I think that's just a point blank period. Like Condola does not like him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there isn't like it's trying to. So now, how do you co-parent
when somebody you don't like?
When you don't even want this man as the father of your baby boy, but you don't even like this man.
Yeah.
That's the fuckery of this all. That's the chicanery of this.
But it's so real.
It's very real, man, and it's wild because Condola was married before. Mm-hmm. She has a career. She has a home. So it does seem like, oh, actually, yeah, like I don't need you for this. But how hard would that be for a good man like Lawrence? As last season,
also,
like I was heartbroken.
Also,
what was it?
How hard it was for her, because she's saying that she don't need him, she don't like him. But we saw throughout that episode how hard it was for her. Like, you do need him too. Like, this is for both of you guys. Like, as bad as you don't like him or don't want him to be around, you do need him because you're killing yourself right now.
Yeah. Period. And you see that, and it's very, very, very. It's sad,
very stressful.
Man.
Just stressful.
It was just stressful all around. Like I turned it off, and then I messed around. I meant to mention this in my pick 6, but I turned around and I watched HBO's Love Life. Just as stressful as far as a dating show, and then it was dealing with some shit in this season. So if you guys are with William Jackson Harper, if you guys aren't up on HBO Max's Love Life, it's an anthology series. So just skip right to season 2. You can ignore season 1. Skip right to season 2 and just start up. There's like 5 episodes, 5 or 6 episodes right now to get through. They're about 30 minutes each, not even an hour. Hell, you could binge the whole thing tonight. Do it. I'm just saying if you want some entertaining. But it was just stressful. It was just stressful, man, because it's Condola who is Controlla, and Lawrence's pride being, I think, one of his main defeating factors here. The whole thing, and all it took was for him to take the step back
on that airplane
and simply, and I think that was his time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I loved Amanda Seals, Tiffany's husband, where he said, "Hey, help me with these boxes, man." He's like, "Look, you don't want to do this here," and it's hard, like, because of course I think a lot of people, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people saw the whole how Condola reacted with the whole carrots, and it's like, please, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit. You kind of tripping. Just a little bit.
Yeah, like tripping 100%. But again, it's like I don't fault it because it's like it's that bond.
And she said it. She don't trust him.
Not only does she not trust him, she don't
like
you. She don't trust you. She don't like you. Of course, you don't trust him.
Facts.
So it's like seeing that, and seeing his pride. I think that was the biggest thing, because I let go of my expectations for her to react or behave logically in this space. And then you also see touches of postpartum depression, which is a very real thing. And so it's like Lawrence has to put the ego, he has to put the pride down, and he truly has to show up.
Yep.
He has to show up for this kid. It's not going to work for him to be in San Francisco. It's not.
Yeah.
If he wants to do this successfully.
Right.
He's going to have to move. He's going to have to change career, even though he's thriving right now in his career. I'm still Team Lawrence, but I'm definitely Team Lawrence if he can figure out how to respect Condola's boundaries, whatever they are.
First and foremost, raise your child.
Exactly, like respect her boundaries, and then and first and foremost, like raise your child. You know what I'm saying? Because like regardless of how Condola feels about it or whether she likes you, this is your child. You know what I'm saying? And clearly he's there. It's not like he's not a deadbeat. He's trying to be there. You know what I'm saying? But this is hard territory, man. This is really hard territory.
He's trying, which is good. Like the effort's there. It's just now you just need to change up the approach and the method. Like it's gonna take some sacrifices, and it's tough. I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but every decision has a price tag, man. Like
I would not. If this was not a PSA for birth control, I don't know what this was. So thank you guys so much for tuning into our Insecure segment, sponsored by Trojan.
You are stupid. Presented by Camelback Mountain.
Presented by Camelback Mountain, Trojan condoms, and Plan B.
Are you worried about a pregnancy? You don't have
You
to be.
are
Wrap it up.
Fool.
What? I'm just saying. Like what? I'm just saying. They're not giving us money yet, but they just might.
Oh my goodness.
But really, no. I can't wait for the next
Me either.
episode. I haven't seen the previews yet. We don't know what's about to happen. But man, so much more in store. Our Insecure segment happening every single week right here on the podcast, all the way up until Christmas week, right?
episode
Because that's
10,
when the finale is. The 10 episodes, man. So thank y'all once again for listening. It's been a long episode. It's been a fruitful episode. It's been a fun episode.
Definitely.
I hope y'all got some laughs because I know it's been heavy
Yeah.
and we was trying to crank out the funny and the relatability for y'all. Thank you guys once again, and do all the things at Unfiltered Gems everywhere. Follow, subscribe, unfilteredgemspodcast.com/YouTube. You guys just go right there right now.
Do that.
Hell, you got anything else?
No, be sure to check out our YouTube. We post the full episodes there every single Tuesday. So be sure to check it out if you want to watch the podcast in full, or if you want to listen, like Malcolm said, any of your favorite streaming podcast streaming platforms. Check us out.
Yes. And I just wanted to say on our sign off this Thursday here in California, Long Beach.
Capacity, baby.
It's the return, y'all. Okay, this is just I just want to bring out my shiny little disco ball for y'all, so y'all can see what's good. Okay, so I need y'all to come out, capacitydanceparty.com. That's where y'all can get some tickets, and they're really flying off. Like 10 people just bought tickets literally during the podcast.
Dope.
My emails were going off. So it's gonna sell out. It's gonna be hot. So I'm gonna need y'all. Please get it together and come on and join us. It's gonna be such a crazy night, dude. Like there's been like even more surprises that have been coming, and I can't even tell anybody about it. I'm just so excited.
That's what's up.
So for real, y'all, come on, pull up on Capacity, come groove, come skate, come do the whole nine. Yeah, that's all I got. For Unfiltered Gems, I'm Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hill. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.